This recipe that I'm going to share with you today comes out of Darryl's mother's cookbook. This is such a treasure to him because it's really the only thing, well, it's not the only thing, but it's one of the very few things that he has from his mom. And so today this recipe is a Swiss ham and noodle casserole. So we're just going to start by taking 1 bag of egg noodles, and this is going to be the 16-ounce bag, the 1 pound bag. And you're just going to cook the noodles like with the package directions, okay? And so as soon as they get cooked, I'll be right back. So I was just thinking about, if some of you are like new to cooking, maybe you need a little instruction on how to cook noodles, because sometimes like I just assumed that you knew. So I started with, I turned my stovetop on high to get the water boiling, and then I poured in my egg noodles. Now these are supposed to cook for about 7 to 9 minutes, so I set my timer for 7. And then once you pour your egg noodles in, you're just gonna turn it down a little bit to where the noodles continue to boil. Can you guys see that that's happening? I always kind of babysit, look over these noodles, any noodles that I'm gonna be cooking. I stir them so they don't get stuck together, and not constantly, but I come back just every couple of minutes and stir. And so again, I've turned it down just a little bit so that it's continuing to boil, but then I just stir it and watch it. Okay, so just in case you're new to cooking, which I hope that you are, welcome. If you are, then I felt like I needed to tell you that. So I'm gonna let these cook. They've got about 4.5 more minutes, and I'll be back. All right, now my egg noodles are cooked, and so I'm just gonna add them to this bowl. And what I love about this recipe, it reminds me it's like you dump everything in and then you go. So we've added our egg noodles, and then next what you do is you're just gonna add 2 cups of cubed ham. And I just bought it this way, so I'm gonna add that. And then you're gonna add about 1 cup, 1.5 cups of grated Swiss cheese. And I grated mine fresh, but you don't have to. And then you need to add 2 eggs well beaten. So we're gonna add those in there. Next, we're gonna add about we're gonna add an 8 ounce, we're gonna add 8 ounces of sour cream, and this is a 16 ounce, so I'm gonna do half of this. Put that in here. And then you need to add about 2 teaspoons of mustard. So I'm just gonna put about 2 teaspoons in there, maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix this up really well. I'm gonna pour this into a 9 by 13 pan or casserole dish that I have sprayed. And then what you want to do is you're just going to spread it out. And we're going to cover it with aluminum foil. You want to cover it pretty tight. And I have preheated my oven to 350, and we're gonna bake it for about 30 minutes. Okay, so the casserole is out of the oven. Ooh, that looks good. Smells good. And now the last thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna add some of these onions to the top. And I'm gonna put it back in the oven for about 5 more minutes. All right, everybody, the casserole is out of the oven. It looks so good. It smells delicious. And I've taken a little bit out to let it cool so that I can try it, because I knew it would probably burn my mouth. I'm notorious for doing that. Let me take a bite. Wow. That's delicious. I think you guys would really love that. I'm gonna let you guys know that every time that we post a video, there will be a link to the recipe in that video. So look for that, okay? The other thing, if you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna share a little bit about Darryl's mom. When she was 60, she actually suffered a stroke that left her paralyzed on the right side of her body. And then a couple of years later, she had breast cancer. So that is why I am wearing this pink shirt that says hope on it. I promise you, I have never seen someone go through what she did with her stroke and then her breast cancer the way that she did. She was amazing. And I think that's where Darryl got his just tenacity and his willingness to just move through his stroke in such a beautiful way. So anyway, but prior to her passing, and she died when she was 64, let me tell you, she was incredible. She loved trivia. She loved that game Trivial Pursuit with all of her whole heart and soul. She loved Jeopardy. She was super smart. She was involved in politics. She would get on the phone back in the day and call and like talk to people about her favorite person. She and Dad would go square dancing. They loved to do that. They had people over on Friday nights to play cards. My parents even played with them. So they just lived this beautiful full life, and I love that about her. And then one of the other things that's really sweet about her is she would do a new recipe every week. Now, this is back in the day when you looked through magazines and, you know, just the different ways that she would find a recipe. And then she would try a new recipe. And Darryl said that there was only one time that he can remember when everybody was like, oh no, don't make that again. But so this book is such a treasure to him. And it's kind of sweet because sometimes he'll get this book out and he'll just read it because everything is in her handwriting. And there will be parts, you know, like if she's like right here, this ocean garden spaghetti, she wrote very good right here. So he'll look through this and he'll say, oh, I remember that. Anyway, it's just the sweetest thing. So I would encourage you guys, like, if you don't have your recipes written down, maybe write a few of them down so that your families can enjoy them, because you never know what the treasure is going to be. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys today. And I'm just going to remind you to be stronger every day. Know that you can do hard things, and I'll see you next time.